What we do here is go back.
So this is Louis, and it's been a little bit of a long day because I spent the second half of my day editing to get the big catfish, or the biggest catfish, actually, that's the name of it. To get that video up, it took quite a bit of editing to get that down to a coherent commentary. And that's the problem with any of my long commentaries. Like, I have a very long commentary on Jair Bolsonaro in Brazil that I got to finish up, but it's like a 50-minute long commentary, and that takes me just hours to edit down. And this might be one of those commentaries because it's unscripted and I'm rambling and I've been drinking. But I wanted to talk about something that came up that I saved on Twitter and forgot about up until I saw it earlier today. And I said, hey, this is something that I've been talking about for a very long time. And I just thought maybe once again I should go over it just to explain a few things to people. Because it seems to me that more people are seeing what I'm seeing. It's not as though that they're coming to my channel. My channel is exploding in growth. That isn't happening. But more people are repeating points that I've made in the past. Or they are looking at gaming in a different light now. They're starting to see the rust. They're starting to see the, not the fragmentation, but just the wheels coming off the cart, so to say. They're seeing things starting to break down, and that these companies, they don't really have the longevity that they thought they had. There's a lot of people that, for whatever reason, they just think that everything's fine. They think that everything's good, nothing's changed, nothing's different, everything's just running properly. And that's not the case. It hasn't been the case since probably 2010, 2011, maybe 2013, like right around that period of time. That's when shit started turning for the worse. And what do I mean by that? Well, I've said it before. Sequels. No new IPs outside of AA and Indie. Just endless sequels, endless microtransactions, endless trying to utilize the fan base that you have and just rob every penny from them that you can. Bleed them dry, but not innovate. Not actually justify the amount that you are taking from them. It's just exploitative marketing, lies, and price gouging. We've seen that for years. Not yet a decade, but we're going to get there eventually. By then, I don't know who's going to be left. Because for those of you that aren't paying attention, there's a lot of things going on right now. A lot of people are focusing on Activision Blizzard. People are saying there's a lot of shit going on with them because of the Bungie Activision breakaway. But Blizzard's in no better position as a company just by itself in terms of their IPs. As far as I can tell, they're in as bad of a position as Activision is in terms of what IPs you have that you're working on. What are you making? What are you actually doing? What ideas do you actually have? Are you going to ever fucking make a new IP? I mean, Overwatch is one. The only thing keeping that game going is it's not content. It's esports. It's just fad bullshit, Twitch bullshit. People cosplaying as characters and drawing art in fucking 3D porn. I mean, can you have a more vapid existence than that? There's nothing real. There's nothing of substance holding that franchise up. It's just a standalone IP. I can't imagine there being an Overwatch 2 and that being another colossal hit. Especially now with your company's reputation and relationship with your own customers being in the fucking toilet. I mean, you've pissed off your own fanboys as it relates to the Diablo mobile game. What do you think you're doing? What do you think is going to happen? When all you do is make sequels, you can't continuously piss off your own fan base. But even in regards to Activision Blizzard, they're not even in the worst position of all these different companies. As far as I can tell, the company in the worst position is in fact EA. The divestment that's happening there, the fact that they are running out of any IPs that are going to sell. Any of them. And the fact that those IPs, those sequels, require massive outside investment in order for them to come out. Because it might take a few years for them to be developed, but that's $100 million goddamn dollars you're spending. Whether it's the actual development and all the people working on it and rushing it out, or it's the marketing that you spend tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars on to try to, hook people in to buy your shovelware. Without that outside investment that's drying up like the goddamn Sierra after like a light rain, you're out of time. And you've been long out of ideas outside of microtransactions and bullshit. People can say whatever they want to me about these companies and the positions that they're in. I'm telling you that EA is in the worst of all positions. Despite their sports games still selling in that, avoiding all the controversy around those sports games, they're unreliable in terms of sales now. They are unreliable in terms of profit. And they are still costing tens and tens of millions of dollars. Even if they're just reskins, it's still costing an unbelievable amount of money to put those games out on the shelves, let alone the marketing and the rest that's involved with those products. People can tell you that, they when you factor in Fortnite, oh man, the gaming industry is doing well. Billions and billions and billions of dollars are being made. When you factor in the fad of the moment, yes, it's making a lot of money. But the truth is, down the line, whether that's a year from now or 5 years from now, these companies must innovate. They must innovate. They will innovate, come up with new ideas, or they will run out of time. They will run out of money. They will run out of investment, and they will be done. That is what happened to Telltale. Precisely what happened. You don't innovate. You don't have any ideas. You just have other people's licenses. You don't put out good products. What happens in the end? You have one fad game. Everyone sucks your dick and says how you're the best company in the goddamn industry. You're dead. Doesn't matter what you say to me. I'm just the voice in the ether telling you what is coming. Ignore me all you want. Badmouth me all you want. Say how wrong I am. Doesn't really matter. I'll admit to you, I'm totally full of shit. I don't know what I'm talking about in regards to Telltale Games. Go buy their next game. Oh, so I guess it doesn't really matter whether I'm sitting here being an egotistical asshole. You're sitting there unable to buy their next shitty game. You know why? They're gone as a company. The reason I stress that, and this is leading to something, by the way, but the reason I'm stressing that is because none of this is new. None of this is something that I'm saying for the first fucking time, but it is where we're headed. It's the track we're on. And I think more people are starting to wake up to that fact. More people are looking at this industry and they're saying something's wrong. Something is amiss. Things are not going the way that they should. You can microtransaction and gouge the shit out of people. Guess what? Eventually they'll stop buying. Because it's not accompanying new ideas or good fucking games. When you don't have anything going for you, when everything is a fucking sequel, then you're just Guitar Hero. You're just Rock Band. You're just a fucking music genre that's dead. Why I get so angry is because this is where we're headed. And everyone, seemingly everyone outside of a small minority of people that listen to me, outside of a small minority of people, a fringe group at that, people just think everything's fine. People just point, oh man, Red Dead Redemption 2 sold well. And it's like, yeah, you wait. You fucking wait. I've noticed, by the way, that the hype around the game, it's fading real fucking fast. People sucking the dick of Red Dead Online, that beta, ooh boy, is that really fading fast. And I'm not even going to say it's terrible, it's horrible, but it is mediocre. The game is mediocre. The online is beyond mediocre. And by the way, GTA Online was also mediocre. I played the hell out of it. I just played Red Dead Redemption Online earlier. I don't hate it. I like Rockstar games. But this shit isn't cutting it. You are running out of time because you don't have any fucking ideas. You're sitting there playing it safe, regurgitating mechanics, regurgitating content, just doing nothing new. And if it is anything new, anything innovative, it's just marginal. You're more focused on just putting it out, making the sales, getting the short-term profit, putting microtransactions on Red Dead Online, and that's it. Okay, what are we working on next? GTA 6, Bully 2. Even with Bully 2, it's like I've lost a tremendous amount of fucking confidence. Because I'm sorry, the hype is wearing off. Keep waiting. Just wait how people are going to view this in the coming months. Moving on from that, what I wanted to talk about with this is two things. Two things are really what is underscoring my anger in this particular ramble of mine. And the first that I'm going to touch on and move off of is the fact that Angry Joe, Pissed Off Pedro and all the other nicknames. I used to watch Angry Joe. I used to like Angry Joe. I used to respect Angry Joe. And most of that has dissipated completely. I don't watch him anymore at all. I don't care about his reviews. And I don't really respect him anymore, to be honest. I used to, but he has been playing ball with the establishment and in some part the SJWs for quite a while now. It's only very recently that he has started to turn. And this is the kind of thing that I mean. In his post-review of Battlefield 5, he just flat out says that there's a half-assed political agenda in the game.
Now, I might have said, or, when I first heard that, I was like, well, maybe the mission wouldn't have been that good if they didn't fire a shot.
It would have been hard for me,
right?
Impossible.
Yeah, because you suck at stealth. But no, I would have said, you know what, that mission, you're right, would not be fun to play. And so maybe they changed it for that. And then I thought about it more. Just because they didn't fire a shot doesn't mean you can't then take those events and do Inspired By. Yeah. So you could be that commando team that went in, but instead there are gunfights that you go through, something goes wrong, and then at the end of the mission, you know how they write all that text?
Yeah, they do the text wall,
Well, they could have said, this mission you just played, well, this was real, and these commandos actually went in there, and they didn't even have to fire a shot.
They were so good they didn't have to fire a shot.
They were so badass, they didn't have to fucking fire shot. Instead, not only did you ignore their story, when I figured that out, it felt disrespectful to me.
Yeah, it was.
And now I'm starting to see, a little bit of that. It's like, well, what was the purpose? Just because they wanted a female in there, and that's fine. Look, because you're going to get all the women haters riled up, but there's also a point from the people that wanted the historical accuracy. Yeah. And there were two separate groups, though it was hard to tell between some of them. But for that group, what would have pleased everybody is if you had done the female stories that actually existed. Real female snipers. So if you wanted to tell these untold stories, why didn't you tell the untold stories? Instead, you made up shit, and it just looks embarrassing, like a half-assed political agenda kind of thing that they were pushing into the game. While actually ignoring not only the real exploits of heroes, men and heroes, but also women who are also heroes.
He just comes right out and says that this game, one of the detriments to this game, is that it's just political propaganda. That elements of it are just so bad, and he credits that to it being political propaganda. Welcome to me in fucking 2013, Angry Joe. You're just catching up. But this is the kind of shit I've been talking about for years now. And it's been going on for years. The only difference now is that the games are so fucking bad that it's inescapable. You would have to be biased out of your own mind to where you're such an ideologue that that's the only reason why you're not going to talk about it. That is how bad things have gotten. Battlefield 5, even among Battlefield as a mediocre franchise, say what you want, I've always found it to be so. This game is so fucking bad and such a shovelware product that anyone and everyone is calling it out for being awful. It is a staple in modern gaming's failure. The game is not just like exclusively terrible, it is just another terrible game. That's all it is. It's just another AAA awful game with political propaganda in it for SJWs and progressives. It's just another. But it's so fucking bad. It's just such an awful game that even the people that were mocking people like me a few years ago, they now have to just accept it. They just flat out say it in the post review. Yeah, this shit's in the game. It makes it terrible. Welcome to where I was in 2013, Joe. But I don't really want to stress that because this is the future. What was this? December of last year? Things are only getting worse. When I say the inconsequential death of Western gaming, you think it's fucking based on nothing? You think that I hold this view just for the sake of it? That I couldn't, be doing something else with my fucking time? I'm telling you, this is the track the entire fucking industry is on. The whole Western industry. What about Atlas games? And what about Japan games? What about what's going on in Nippon? How about the fucking Western industry? How about it? How are things going right now? Well, Red Dead, it sold pretty well. So Fortnite's still selling. So don't worry, Louis. Don't worry. Epic Games is going to release their competitor, the fucking Steam, with no user reviews, by the way. Wink, wink. I'm sure everything is fucking fine. Oh, no. Oh, no. The worst has yet to come, ladies and gentlemen. It's coming. The worst is coming. And I'm telling you that CD Projekt Red is not fucking saving this industry. You're still going to have your Frostpunks. You're still going to have your AA good games. If I didn't already say it, Frostpunk was my game of the year last year. The reason I didn't do a video on it was because last year one of the games that I would have to praise would be Far Cry 5, and it's just an unbelievably mediocre game. It is just so unoriginal, so uninspired. Another sequel, just nothing about it is really all that exceptional. But it was one of my favorite games from last year, and that to me just says how bad the competition is. That is the level that we're fucking on. Where one of the games that I can tell you that's like a AAA game that I like is a game that I regard as utterly uninspired and mediocre. Far Cry 5. Doesn't make it a bad game. It's like a 6 out of 10. Wow, that's one of the best games of the year. A fucking 6 out of 10. But anyways, I'm going to move on to the next article that I got here, but I just wanted to say that this isn't going away. This whole issue of even Angry Joe is looking at this game and it's just man, this is a fucking piece of shit, and it has political propaganda in it. It's not stopping. It's not going away. It's only getting worse. I know people that work at Rockstar, work at CD Projekt Red. There is SJW infiltration in every fucking company in the industry. The known ones, I mean. Not every fucking random developer. But the big names. It's at every one. So, what hope can we have of anything ever getting better? Because just now are the biggest names in criticism finally fucking coming around and just saying, yes, maybe this is an issue. Okay, it's just one game. We're okay, we can accept it's one game. Maybe it's more than one, Joe. Maybe it's more than just Battlefield 5. I'm being too optimistic. Maybe next year Angry Joe can say it's more than just one game in terms of being a problem. Of fucking quality control and SJW bullshit. Maybe in 2020 we can fucking get to 2 games in 1 year that this is a problem that he can talk about. One of the biggest fucking names in gaming. Anyway, so let's get to the second article here, and that is more gamers prefer playing as Alexios in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and Ubisoft is shocked. Oh my god, are you telling me that in an adventure game, an open world adventure game, that the overwhelming majority, in an RPG, the overwhelming majority of players are male players? God fucking damn, this isn't something that I've been talking about since fucking Mass Effect 2. What year was that? 2010? I've been talking about this for almost a fucking decade. It's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. Like, these people, these developers, if their shock is genuine, they have to be ideologues. They have to be. What, like, how, after, like, fucking 10 sequels of this one franchise, how many fucking sequels has the Assassin's Creed franchise had? After those many sequels, after that many games, those many sequels, you are fucking surprised that your fucking player base in this kind of game, a violent open world assassin game, stealth game / action game, you're surprised that it's fucking male dominated. How deluded are you? And what's great about this is the fact that I know there's going to be an internal meeting of how do we make our games more appealing to females? And some SJW cocksucker is going to raise his hand, and that's what they're going to implement in the next game. I know that will happen, because it's exactly what happened at BioWare. Exact same fucking thing. Because they were going crazy about their statistics too, because that's what this is based on. Is back in the day, BioWare did the exact same fucking thing, and they're like, oh, I don't understand, what can we do? There's nothing you can do! It's been a fucking decade! Nothing is gonna change. Nothing is changing. I'll find the fucking statistics that I've been citing recently. I'm gonna cite them again. These fucking numbers aren't changing. God damn. It's just, I just wish that I had one opportunity in my life. One opportunity to just sit in Anita Sarkeesian style in one of these fucking meetings. Just one meeting at one developer. Just sit there. And when somebody says, how can we get our game to appeal more to female gamers? I'm going to say, what fucking female players? That's what I'm going to say. And I'm killing my voice here. And the reason is, you're fucking trying to find a phantom audience. They don't exist. They don't exist. Like, you're trying to sell like a porno mag or like what? Like truck nuts. You're trying to sell truck nuts and an NRA subscription, like NASCAR and whatever else is dominated by men, to fucking women. It has been decades that gaming as a hobby and as a medium has been completely fucking mainstream. It is the medium as it is now. If female players were gonna fucking buy your game, they already would have. Some women do buy your game. They're a fucking fringe group. Because one, I don't even fucking believe their numbers. Only 75% of our players are male. Bullshit. I guarantee you, every penny that I have left in my savings account, tens of thousands, I will bet that it is somewhere closer to 85 to 90% of your player base for Assassin's Creed is male. I would bet every penny on that fact. And I notice you don't actually list that statistics like fucking BioWare did back in the day, because it just embarrassed them. Because despite all the fucking shit they try to do, all the accommodation, all the bullshit, all the fan art, all the nonsense, all the fedora tipping, all the fucking bullshit, It never changed. The statistics never changed. They got even worse, if I remember right, in Mass Effect 3. It was even more male-dominated in that fucking game. The statistics are never fucking changing. It is a fool's errand. Stop listening to the SJWs in your fucking company, you beta male cock sucker future convicts. And I'm citing Randy Pitchford in that regard. You know, it's just a matter of, what can I say? What can I fucking say? And it's why people go, oh, Louis, you know, you do this video, but you claim you don't want to talk about this. Yeah, because I'm sitting here screaming, losing my fucking voice. I've also had about 6 beers. So now I'm willing to talk about it, but this is why I don't want to talk about this anymore. It's been 10 years, and they're still saying the same shit! Oh, I've been working at the studio for fucking 20 years, and we've been making the same fucking game over and over and over again. We don't know that our fucking player base is overwhelmingly male! How don't you know that? If I were a businessman, and I were to offer someone a product, I'm selling ice cream, I'm selling cars, I'm selling something, tractors. You would think after a few decades in the business, in the industry directly, I would fucking know who my customer base is. You'd think after so many years, I'd fucking know who's buying my products. But for whatever reason in gaming, and comics, and probably other things as well, anime, I don't know, these people, for whatever reason, are just totally detached. These developers that make these products, I mean, they must show up, clock in, do their work, clock out, and ask no other fucking questions. How on earth is it that this is the case that we're in? How? How did we get here? How are we in this position altogether? I don't understand. I don't have an answer for you. I don't know how we got here, but I am just explaining to you that this is where we are. And it is something that you couldn't parody. It is something that you can't even find a means to satire. That is how fucking ridiculous this all is. And I'm going to tell you that I think that in the future, we are going to see some bright moments in gaming. You're going to see another Frostpunk. You're going to see another hit AA or indie game, you know, another big one. Oh, there's another Divinity Original Sin. Oh, this is a big hit. And, you're going to see shit like that. Innovation from companies like that. New ideas, new style, new ideas. And maybe you're going to have another big Fortnite kind of game. But in terms of this whole industry, this overall industry, it's one big Guitar Hero game. It's a big rock band game. That's all this is. The whole goddamn industry is just one genre. It's the music genre. And we are just before the point where this shit fucking melts down. People talk about mismanagement of funds at companies like THQ and others. What the fuck do you think is happening at EA and these other big name companies? You don't think that there's fucking mismanagement there? You don't think they're pissing away their profit and their revenue there? No, they absolutely are. It just hasn't caught up with them yet. Because guess what happened to fucking THQ? Did they innovate? A lot of fresh ideas from them? No. They kept relying on the same shit over and over and over again until they fucking went out of business. And then Volition made another game with no new ideas. A shittier style, worse ideas, playing off of a fucking repetitive franchise that was driven into the ground. They came out with whatever the fuck Agents, whatever, of Chaos or whatever the fuck they came out with. And it bombed like nothing else. And guess what? They're in a terrible position now. They've laid off people and everything else. I'm not even going to cite you the fucking articles. Go look it up. Go fucking look it up. I don't even care to. Because this is every company. This is every company. Every company's in this fucking position. How many sequels can you put out before people stop buying? That's the fucking question that needs to be asked. Because Battlefield 6, how the fuck do you think that's going to do? What guarantee does that fucking game have in terms of selling? After all the different Battlefield games that have sold poorly, that have been received poorly, what guarantee is there that Battlefield 6 is, for whatever reason, going to be a fucking smash hit when it's costing tens of millions to develop it, even if it is a reskin, and tens of millions more to market it, to get it off the shelves, get it bought? What guarantee is there for investment that that's actually going to fucking sell, unlike Battlefield 5? None! No reason to believe that it's going to be any different. So why would you invest? And as a customer, why would you buy outside of you're an empty-headed fucking asshole? I'm going to stop here because I have successfully lost my voice. But outside of the few, topics where I'm going to talk about this, outside of the stream that I'm going to do later this month, as it relates to Life is Strange 2, dude, this whole thing is a fucking joke. This industry is a fucking joke. Outside of shit like this and doing a stream where I mock Life is Strange 2 and make money in the process, outside of moments like that I can laugh at where we are now, what's the point in me talking about this? What is the fucking point? What am I getting out of this? Outside of catharsis for watching something that I loved just dissipate and die. Because everyone just stood on the fucking sidelines when it happened. No one had anything to say. But I guarantee you they will once shit starts falling apart. Because as it related to Sierra Games back in the day, when that fucking company died, so did their IPs. The same goddamn thing is coming for the rest of your fucking favorite IPs. If you like Battlefield, you like Assassin's Creed, you like all these franchises, Far Cry included, the same fucking fate is coming. And if you actually give a shit, you should start speaking up now. Because I'm telling you, things are not headed in a good direction. It's only accelerating. And you're running out of time. And they're already out of ideas. But I'll leave it there. Thanks for listening.